Smith. Number 21, Curtis Jarvis. And now, your number 3 ranked Pacific Tigers! From Stockton, California, number 1, Jonathan Berry. From Newcastle, California, 1A, Joey McLean. From the 209, 1B, Lewis Gale. From Hollywood, 1C, Michael Melnick. From Kentwood, California, number 2, Wyatt Parker. From Iowa, California, number 3, Bogdan Churkovic. From Istanbul, Turkey, number 4, Ege Kola. From Perth, Australia, number 5, Luke Tabelard. From the 209, number 6, Maurice O'Raya. From Nice, France, Andrea Denardi. From Montreal, Quebec, Canada, number 8, Jeremy Cote. Number 9, from Irvine, Jonathan Cooper. From the 209, number 10, Matthew Hosmer. From Belgrade, Serbia, number 11, Jale Stanic. From Park City, Utah, number 12, Eli Thalos. From Huntington Beach, number 14, Eli Lule. From the 209, number 15, Jay Halva. From Granite Bay, number 16, Christian Murphy. From Carmichael, California, 17, Aiden Chang. From Turlock, 18, Dylan Bernardi. From Long Beach, California, 19, Sebastian DJ Alcaro. From Miami, 21, Rene Peralta. Your Tigers are coached by James Graham in his 12th season. He's assisted by associate head coach Joey Gullickson in his 5th season, and the director of water polo operations, the great Alex Mattal. At this time, please rise and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem.
Well, a good afternoon, everyone. Welcome into Chris Kelton Polo on the campus of the University of Pacific in Stockton, California. Good one we have for you for men's water polo. The number 5 Pepperdine Wave come into Stockton to take on the number 3 University of Pacific Tigers. Jeff Dominic with you. Thank you very much for joining us as we get you set up and ready for the opening sprint. Pepperdine coming in at 17-5. They are ranked number 5 and led by the sophomore from Hungary, Balázs Kósa. He's got 92 points this season. He has already got 6 points as he's won in the 1-0 Golden Coast Conference. The Tigers are led by Luke Pavillard. He has 67 points, but a balanced offense that the Tigers have, and actually are really focused on defense, only allowing 11.5 goals per game, give or take a percentage point. But they're 12-3 overall, also 1-0 in the Golden Coast Conference. So this should be set up for a good one as we get you ready for the opening sprint. Looks like we have... Oh, it is going to be Jeremy Cote on the near side. The Tigers will be wearing the black cap with white numbers, while the Pepperdine Wave will wear the white caps, blue numbers. And we are underway here at Chris Kelton Polo for the first quarter. Opening sprint won by the Tigers. Jeremy Cote will give it to Luis Araya. Luis Araya, a senior for the Tigers. Trapped immensely, and we'll get it into the center. Quickly, opening sprint will be blocked by the goalkeeper, and the opening possession for the Tigers goes for naught. Goalkeeper for today is Jean-Claude Marco. Pepperdine Wave they can run a few different goalkeepers. For Marco, this is only his 4th start of the season. Just skimming it across. For the Wave is Curtis Jarvis, the attacker, sophomore from Huntington. Decided just to get it away with the shot clock winding down. So first minute of play just about to tick down, and both teams come up empty-handed. It's a far inside pass. A one-timer attempt in the center. Looked like for Ege Kolak, went just past his fingertips. Yeah, but the Wave can run with different players as far as in goal. Kyle McKinney, Kent Emden, and Jean-Claude Marco all have spent time between the posts for the Wave. It's on the near side is Kaneko, as that will go in. Excuse me, will not go in. It'll go just wide left. As we mentioned, Tigers going from right to left, wearing the black caps, orange trim. Araya was trying at the top was trying to dive in and was trapped. So they'll go off into the center. And there will be an exclusion on the Pepperdine Wave. The first power play attempt we'll have. The Tigers are fairly successful, converting roughly about 42% of their conversions, and are mean as far as the defense goes if they were facing a power play. Up at the top is Araya. Shot, goal for the Tigers. I believe actually that was potentially Cote. I should have just went with my original. Araya. The numbers are close together. It looked like it was either one of the two. So the senior Luis Araya from the local area will get the Tigers on the board. It's 1-0 for Araya. That's his 17th goal of the season. And it feels just like yesterday, and I think quite a few people will agree with me when I say this, but it felt like just like yesterday when I'd hear the crowd whenever Luis Araya would score that he was just a freshman. Well, now it's kind of being a senior feels a little surreal. But the former St. Mary's High School graduate, now looking to be a University of Pacific Tiger graduate, gets the Tigers on the board first. As we mentioned, Tigers are pretty successful when trying to convert on exclusions. And their very first one that they have, they are successful. Attempted tap, and it was actually blocked up in the front line. So Tigers will take another attempt. Here's Luis Araya on the near side. Will dump it off, and a loft shot that gets tapped off of the goalkeeper, Jean-Claude Marco, excuse me. And they'll start it over with a fresh shot clock. Back over towards the near side. That's Cote. Now we'll get it back up to the top to Luis Araya. Wanted to dump it off into the center. I think Jurkovic might have been in there. They'll get it back to the far side. A shot, and it'll go in off the deflection. And the Tigers will take a 2-0 lead. And there's Luke Pavillard, and I'll say this right from the start, and I meant to say it right from the beginning, but Luke Pavillard is going to be the guy that makes this team go. 67 points, 41 goals, 26 assists, and that was his 68th point of the season as of this point. So the Tigers lead 2-0 with 5:11 to go. And really haven't even gotten a chance to introduce the coaching staffs for both sides. For Pepperdine, they're led by head coach Terry Schroeder. Merrill Moses and is the associate head coach, and the assistant coach Mike Traggett. Foul on the Tigers will give the Pepperdine an opportunity to reset their offense from the top, dump it off in the middle, and there's going to be a foul with 7 seconds to go. So they'll be back, go off to the middle. We'll dump it back onto the outside. And that'll be a turnover. Tigers led by head coach James Graham in his 12th season as men's water polo head coach. He's barking out some orders towards Ege Kolak. Joey Gullickson is the associate head coach, and there's another goal for the Tigers as they now lead 3-0 on the outside, inside towards Bogdan Jurkovic. And Jurkovic, so the Tigers 3-0 here early. For Jurkovic, that's only his 15th goal of the season. But for the guy that's normally in the middle, that's about typical for what the Tigers can expect. They usually rely on the outsides with Jeremy Cote, Luke Pavillard, and Luis Araya. Tigers on the near side. Luis Araya, speaking of which, is guarding closely to Curtis Jarvish. Get it onto the near side. Balash Kosa, who's been quiet. We've been just saying how big of a name he has. And there's going to be an exclusion on, I believe, Denardi. Yeah, Andrea Denardi just got called for the exclusion. So a 6-on-5, and we'll see what the defense can muster here against the dangerous Pepperdine Wave, who can score quickly. Is on the near side. Kosa. Shot blocked by John Barry. That's another guy that I think has really been underrated this season. Part be it to me that I didn't really talk to him very much, but he has done great things for the Tigers in between the posts. Takeaway here, Curtis Jarvis winds up with it. He'll come on to the near side, pass it up to Kosa. Far outside shot, or excuse me, it was going to look like a one-time shot. Tapped in front and taken away by the Tigers. That was off in the middle line. They were trying to get it onto the center. And the long outreached hands of the Tigers defense did not allow that to happen. A foul on the dump off. Tigers will regain. 10 seconds on the shot clock. A shot. Goal for the Tigers. That's Luke Pavillard again. That's number 2. And it is. So Luke Pavillard puts this Tiger team up 4-0 here early on. 2:44 remaining here in the first quarter. I'm going to take a quick look at what Luke Pavillard has provided. I think he might also be involved in an assist, and if that's the case, it's just about par for the course for what he's done. Quick look. Yeah, he has an assist, so give Pavillard 3 points total. Bogdan Jurkovic with 2 points. Tigers up 4-0. what's a very busy day here at the University of Pacific. Women's volleyball already going on right now as well. Soccer a little bit later on. Plenty of events to attend. But this is a big one here. Number 3 versus number 5 is up on the top. The Pepperdine Wave will go to the far side. 5 seconds on the shot clock. A foul called on the Wave, or on the Pepperdine, or excuse me, on the Tigers. And that is blocked up front. This time by Eli Lule. So Eli Lule getting the action defensively, and the Tigers really have shut down the Waves offense here in the first 6 minutes of play. 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Tigers lead 4-0. And up at the top, a shot. Goal for the Tigers. This time, Jeremy Cote. For Cote, that's his 39th goal of the season. And that will produce a timeout by the Pepperdine Wave. 5-0 here with 1:54 to go here in the first quarter. And I think that, well, one, if you're the Tigers or the Tigers fan base, you love seeing this, but I think that this has got Pepperdine completely on their heels. They were not expecting what the Tigers have done offensively and defensively. Tigers have really outstretched their hands and blocked a lot of attempts just to either, one, get it inside, or two, just the shot itself. And really, John Berry, all he's had to do is block one shot so far here in this opening quarter. So far, Pepperdine 0 for 4 in their shots, while the Tigers are 5 for 7. That's 7-14. I think that anybody would love to have something like that. Exclusions, Pepperdine 0 for 1, while the Tigers are 1 for 1. No penalty fouls, no penalty shots. Exclusions, only 1 on each side to be accounted for. One of them by Sean Thomas for the Pepperdine Wave. And for the Tigers, it was Andrea Donardi. So timeout just about to come to an end. Actually, it's a full timeout called by Pepperdine Wave. And the the student section, wearing the complete orange jumpsuits, are pointing at the scoreboard, it looks like, but also keeping up the tempo and the. I'm surprised how much they can actually stay in that. That just has to be. It's still a warm October day, but that's amazing. Some weight loss has to be going on over there. That has to be pretty hot. So the Wave will get it back. They'll go in from left to right. And this first quarter really is all about the defense. As on the far side, an outlet pass was trying to go for the Wave, went too far. The Tigers are right there to go ahead and just scoop it up, and we'll go on towards the near side. They lead 5-0, looking for more. 1:33 remaining here in the first quarter. A foul on the Wave. Jeremy Cote up top. We'll dump it towards the far side. Dumped off into the middle. A shot blocked by the Pepperdine Wave. That was Jean-Claude Marco once again. Wave with Curtis Jarvis, and that'll be a turnover on the Wave just as I started to mention that. So a long outlet pass, a one-on-one, one-on versus the goalie. And there's going to be a 5-meter penalty. The Wave kind of got a little too aggressive on the attempted breakaway, and that will cause the 5-meter. We'll see who's going to take the shot. It looks like it's. Had to catch it real quick as a shot. Goal for the Tigers. And they're up 6-0 as that was Jeremy Cote. I thought that was him, but I wasn't going to assume nothing at that point. His second goal of the afternoon, and the Tigers offensively and defensively all around have played pretty near perfect here in this opening quarter. 1:02 remaining, and the Wave looking for their first goal of the afternoon. Kosa. Dump it off to the top. Looked like that was towards Smith. On to the near side is Jarvis. Jarvis will get it back to Kosa. Dumped off into the middle. Deflected by Eli Lule once again, and that was onto the middle line, and he didn't even have to. John Barry was going to be right there for it, and that just pretty much showed what the Tigers have done here in this opening quarter. Like I said, it just seems like everything the Wave have intended to do, the Tigers have been ready to go. Lule trying to get some separation. We'll skip it off towards the middle. Last-ditch effort, and just before that happens, there's going to be an exclusion on the Wave. A shot goal for the Tigers. Unbelievable. 7-0. Luis Araya with the goal once again. There's going to be a stoppage. The referee's going to go ahead and have a word with head coach James Graham. No goal. They're actually going to say no goal. So it's going to be 6-0. 9 seconds remaining. I did not see what they were saying, but they said all I saw was the near referee said no goal. They wiped it off, so Araya is not counted with the goal. So for now, I'll make a little mark in my paper that erases that one away from Araya. And the Tigers still lead 6-0 with 3 seconds remaining. And a last-second shot blocked by John Barry, and that will end it. So after 1 quarter of play, the Tigers lead 6-0 over the Pepperdine Wave. We'll be back here from Chris Kelton Pool.
My brother did swimming, and so I'm from a family of 4, so I looked up to my older siblings, so I just kind of followed his suit and kind of just followed his footsteps. And then my sophomore year, I hit the massive improvements, and that's when I really hit swimming, and I was really drawn into the sport, and I was like, no, this is what I want to do. Even if there are failures and there are challenges, this is just so rewarding to put in this work and try every day and then be rewarded by your hard work. Yeah, the day starts at 5:30, and then probably the last thing I end at is probably 7:30 in the afternoon when practice ends. Go home, have dinner, try to get a few more hours of studying in before I gotta go to bed early. It's hard sometimes waking up at 4:45 in the morning when you have to study, but I've never missed a morning practice for a test. And I've always gone to test day and gone to morning practice at the same time. So if there's a test on Friday, you better bet I'm at 5:30 practice, and then I roll out and I go to the test at 8. It's just how it works. You have to manage your expectations. I don't have a 4.0, but I have a pretty high respectable GPA. I made the Dean's List in the business school, Beta Gamma Sigma Honor Society. It's all about time management, how bad you want to be successful. I'd like to take all the connections I've made through swimming, the business school, the student investment fund, and really grow that into somewhere in banking. Being a financial representative would be something I really want to do. The ultimate goal would be a financial representative for athletes. I think the business school has really accelerated my growth as a person. It's really pushed me to places I've never thought I'd go. It challenged me in ways, and then just being the student athlete part made me be something that I didn't think I could be. You know, it made me be someone who needs to be really organized, needs to be on top of my stuff. I can't just take a week off. Being a student athlete and being a double major has just made me challenge myself.
Back here at Chris Kelton Pool, 6-0. The number 3 Pacific Tigers leading over the number 5 Pepperdine Wave. Jeff Dominic with you. Thank you very much for joining us. The Tigers were led by Luke Pavillard and Jeremy Cote with 2 goals apiece. Luis Araya and Bogdan Jurkovic all with a goal apiece. But the other big story as of this moment is their defense. A shutout in the first quarter, not allowing the Pepperdine Wave, who were 0 for 6, to get any kind of momentum, as the second quarter sprint is won by the Tigers. Jeremy Cote, it'll go to Luis Araya. Tigers will go from right to left wearing the black caps, white numbers, and orange trim. The Pepperdine Wave wearing the white caps, blue numbers. As the Tigers will go from the far side. A shot, and that'll be blocked deep over towards the far side of the pool. Jean-Claude Marco once again will give it back the possession to the Tigers. 22 on the shot clock. Looks like that's Eli Lule, who's been mean on the defensive side, and he'll go dump it off into the middle. And there's going to be an exclusion for the turnover. The third exclusion on the Pepperdine Wave this afternoon. This will be a 6-on-5 for the Tigers. They were 1 for 2 in the opening quarter. It was one of those shots that did go in, was actually taken away from the far side. Then it'll go up, and a shot, and will go in, skip underneath Jean-Claude Marco's outstretched arms, and the Tigers will lead 7-0. 5. Luke Pavillard with the hat trick, and we're only in just under a minute left, or into the second quarter, and Luke Pavillard with 3 goals, 4 points total. So Luke Pavillard with 3 goals, 1 assist, 4 points total. That adds to his team leading total. Now brings it up to 71. And the Pepperdine Wave still looking for their first goal. More than a quarter into this contest. On the near side, Curtis Jarvis will dump it off towards the near side, or dump it off inside towards Sean Thomas. And there's going to be an exclusion on the Wave, a 6-on-5. Reaching up, a faked attempt, and there's the first goal for the Wave. It's on the far side, skipping a skip shot in. Number 8 for Pepperdine, Sean Ferrari, will get his 17th goal of the season. 30th point overall, as it is now 7-1. So it took 9 minutes and 11 seconds for the Wave to get their first goal, as it is 7-1. The Tigers lead this one. Luis Araya on the near side. Get it towards Jeremy Cote. Be a foul on the Wave. Off the dump off inside. Back it out towards Araya. 15 on the shot clock. And a foul will be, or excuse me, a turnover on the Tigers. Catching out a long outlet pass towards the far side of the pool. Go the Wave. Dumped off inside. A shot off the near post, and that one was just unlucky for the Wave. Another foul on the Tigers. Going to be kind of like an offensive holding. So now the Wave will have a 3-on-2 opportunity. A shot. That one will hit the crossbar. And that's Kosa that tried to get an attempt in. Now a long outlet pass for the Tigers. A foul will be called. 22 on the shot clock. We'll go over towards Donardi. Donardi on the near side. Long outlet pass over towards the far side. Dumped off in the middle. And that will cause an exclusion. Timeout before anything will be called by head coach James Graham. The exclusion, I believe they said it was on Caden Kaneko. Double check on that, but so far early on, this second quarter, both teams have scored a goal. Tigers are 7 of 11, while the Pepperdine Wave 1 of 9. Exclusions. That last exclusion, I should say, was on actually Mate Toth. I thought they said number 15, but they moved it to Toth. So Curtis Jarvis, Toth now, along with Kosa, Sean Thomas, and Marco Asic, all with exclusions for the Wave. We keep an eye on that just to make sure that once you hit 2, you start to hit the danger zone, because 3 will put you out of the contest completely. Andrea Donardi with 1, and Eli Lule all have been excluded at one point in time in this one. 7-1 our score, and the shooting percentages, Tigers at .636, while the Wave at .111. Tigers only converted 1 of 4 in the power play, so the Pepperdine Wave doing a great job as far as defensively in the power plays. Penalty shots, Tigers 1 of 1. That was scored by Jeremy Cote. Cote is a freshman. They have him listed as a freshman from Montreal, Quebec. And so the Tigers will go on the attack on the 6-on-5. A shot, and that will be blocked by Jean-Claude Marco. A foul on the on the Tigers will allow the Pepperdine Wave to get back on the offense. On the far side, a dump off in the middle. They're going to put an exclusion on the goalkeeper, John Barry. And before they could even do that, a turnover on the Wave. So John Barry got a little lucky on that one. He got a little aggressive going on the far side and tried to take away the possession for the Wave. And he got excluded, but the Wave kind of lost control of the ball, and next thing you know, it was taken away. A shot, and that will go off the side and actually be deflected in front of Marco. Jarvis on the near side will get it towards Toth. Back to Jarvis, and now up to the top goes Kosa. Actually, he'll back off. He didn't realize that a Tiger had already gone there. That will be deflected off of John Barry, and it will be a possession. Fresh new shot clock for the Wave. Tigers leading 7-1. 4:18 remaining here in the half. So that's Jarvis, and now it'll be Kaneko. Kaneko looking to get it inside. We'll back it out towards Jarvis. 10 on the shot clock, or 12 on the shot clock, excuse me. We're now counting it down. The Tigers defense still looking for a shot out of the Wave. They'll dump it off, and it'll go a pass intended inside. Will go right to John Barry. Be a quick substitution, so 22 seconds on the shot clock, and late getting to the party is Andrea Donardi after the substitution. Araya on the near side, near the top. So now I will pencil back in that goal for Araya. That's his second goal of the afternoon. And the Tigers now lead 8-1. So your seniors, Pavlard and Araya, somewhat leading the way. You also have a freshman, Jeremy Cote, with 2 goals. And I don't believe, I mean, if you're the Pepperdine Wave at this, now it's time to regroup, see what you can do for this next 19 and a half minutes, including the second half. But for the Tigers, Luke Pavlard leads the way with 4 points. Jeremy Cote also has 3. He has an assist. And Araya with 2 points leading the way for the Tigers. The Wave dump it off in the middle. There's going to be exclusion, I believe, on Wyatt Barker. So the Wave will have the possession. On the near side is Jarvis. Jarvis will get it back up to the top. Jarvis receives it back. And on the 6-on-5, up to that towards Jarvis. And that shot now will go in for Curtis Jarvis. So Jarvis, who's second on the team in points, will get his 33rd goal of the season. And it's 8-2. Couple of substitutions. It looks like Matthew Hosmer will come and step out for a few moments. Hosmer, an electrifying freshman who's been around, has 36 points. Haven't really said his name too much this afternoon yet. Stanich will get it to Araya. Another guy we also have been familiar with saying, Jale Stanich. Another 6-on-5 after the exclusion, so the Tigers will go on an attack. Stanich will get it towards Araya. Araya will swim towards this near side, and we'll try and spread out the defense a little bit. Back up to the top for Lule. Lule will get it back towards Araya. Araya will skip it low, try to get it underneath 3 defenders. It'll go just wide left. Wave will come towards this side. Curtis Jarvis back on this near side. Actually will speed things up. I don't think the Tigers realize on how quick his abilities are, as he will get the offense set up for the Wave. Wave will give it back to Jarvis on the near side. Back up to the top and dump it off. A one-timer attempt. That was blocked in the front by, I believe, Araya. Actually, that was Jeremy Cote, I believe. Actually, correction. Actually, might have been Jonathan Cooper, first time we said his name this afternoon. Andrea Donardi will get it over towards the top, towards Araya. Araya will swing it around towards Ege Kolak. Foul on the Wave, or excuse me, on the Tigers, and the Wave will take over. Long outlet pass to the far side. Dumped off into the middle. Before that, Andrea Donardi will be called for the foul, and that gets a little bit of the crowd towards the unhappy side of things. It'll be a 5-meter penalty. Luis Araya has to back up, and he lost it. Marco Asic was the one that was going to be taking the shot, and he lost it. He tried to say that he was coming up and hadn't even attempted to take the shot, and it shouldn't count. Well, it did, and now the Tigers go on the offensive. Dumped off into the middle, and there will be an exclusion on the Wave. Before that, a Tigers timeout. So Andrea Donardi now is in the category of where he has to kind of watch himself. I believe that's his second exclusion, and it is his second exclusion, and that will have to kind of watch out for him. 8-2 our score. Tigers have used their final partial timeout. They now have 2 full remaining, while the Wave have 1 partial and 2 full. See the student section giving it a look and keep pointing towards the scoreboard. And they know that's them. You can see it on our brand new Bank of Stockton video board. Timeout over, and the Tigers are going to get ready to go on the offensive. Here's they lead 8-2, 1:14 remaining in the half. Both sides have scored 2 goals apiece in this quarter. The pass will go over towards Jeremy Cote. Araya. Over towards the far side. Reaching up, and I think he lost control. That was deflected and knocked away. Pepperdine Wave quickly wanting to get going. Since they have a quick opportunity on the near side is Kaneko. Kaneko will get it towards Toth. An exclusion will be on the Tigers. And then that will cause a timeout called by the Pepperdine Wave. I'll catch on who caught that last exclusion, but with 43 seconds remaining, it will actually be, they called it on Luis Araya. So now Araya will get his first exclusion, but not much has changed since the last time out. Both teams, kind of the offensive side of things on both sides, have kind of slowed down a little bit. While Pepperdine has actually improved in their percentages as far as shooting percentage, they're at 154, but the Tigers have dropped just ever so slightly at right at 500, 8 of 16. The exclusions are about the same, 7 for Pepperdine, 6 for the Tigers. And surprisingly, actually, the Pepperdine Wave have actually been able to convert more, 2 of 5, pending this exclusion as well. And the only other big difference is that the Wave were unsuccessful in the penalty shot while the Tigers were. So that kind of really says where some of the point totals have come from. With that timeout, the Wave actually used a full timeout, and a correction on the other one, the Tigers had have a full and a partial remaining as well. I originally said there were 2 full. They corrected it and changed it. So that the Wave on a 6-on-5 will get it to the far side, and now we'll get it towards Jarvis. Jarvis will go towards the far side and looking to dump it off in the middle. Back to Jarvis. Jarvis wanted to do a one-timer. He'll still shoot and get the goal. So for Curtis Jarvis, his second goal of the afternoon, will get his 58th point. Jarvis, a sophomore from Huntington Beach, California. 8-3 our score, 25 on the shot clock, on the game clock, I should say. Luis Araya is guarded heavily. Really just trying to keep the time down. Araya will get it towards the near side, towards Cote. Jeremy Cote with the 10 seconds on the shot clock. Foul on the Wave. Back towards Araya. Araya go towards far to the near side, and that will end it. No shot will even be given. So at halftime, the number 3 University of Pacific Tigers lead the number 5 Pepperdine Wave 8-3. We'll step aside to take a break from Chris Kelton Pool.
Tiger fans, at this time, we would like to recognize some of our facility staff in attendance today, including interim president Dr. Maria Paladini, professor of mathematics Chris Ross, professor of business Dr. Lewis Davis, advanced service specialist
My name is Brynley Barthels. I came to Pacific because I was actually looking at water polo programs, and it was one of the better programs in the state. And they also had a great science program. So their biology and chemistry departments especially were very rigorous and something that I knew would prepare me well for my future. When I visited the school, I saw a lot of chemistry labs and the opportunity for people to do research in the chemistry department, and that was something I was really excited about. My research, when I started, we began with peptide synthesis. So basically taking these small building blocks called amino acids, putting them all together and forming long chains. So Alzheimer's in particular is manifested because peptides are created at different lengths. So we are able to take those peptides, recreate them in the lab, and analyze their function and factors that make them non-functional. So my grandma was diagnosed with Alzheimer's a couple years ago, so it's extremely personal to me that, I'm able to take this research that I'm doing and apply it back to my own life. It's humbling and also exciting that I am able to do these small experiments and look at these small peptides and know that somewhere, somehow, someone is going to take my research or the research that my lab is doing and use it on something bigger like these diseases. Prospective freshmen come in and they're asking, well, why should we choose Pacific? What's the academics like? And the first thing I say every time is that the research aspect in the chemistry department especially is very unique. I know a lot of people that go to different schools in California or even in the United States that have never set foot in a research laboratory. The opportunities presented here are extremely important and extremely unique to Pacific. And everyone that asks me, I say the best part about this school is the research aspect, definitely.
Chose UOP because of the small classroom sizes. I love the idea of the professors, the old slogan, they know who you are, they know your name, and it's more of a friendly, more relaxed atmosphere.
I've loved all the different people that I've been able to meet, people from different backgrounds, from different areas, different countries, definitely come from all over, and that's even going to influence where you go to eat on a Friday night or whatever. So all the different food choices, and then Stockton provides a lot of opportunities for you to go and try new things.
I think Stockton has a very small community feel, and I think that translates over to UOP, how we have a small family environment here.
Also at Rebel Point, that's where they hold lots of festivals out there. This year they had the fireworks over there for 4th of July, and it was really nice to go over there and see the city come together and hang out.
I can't imagine being anywhere else.
I think Stockton has a really bright future because of its people, because of the people that care. Something I learned about Stockton is that there are a lot of hidden gems around the city, and you really have to get out there and just put yourself out there and just explore a little with your friends.
Especially going to UOP, every single year you kind of get more and more of a sense of the city that you live in. It's kind of excessively friendly with the people that I've actually stopped to talk to and have interactions with. It's really friendly, and there are a lot of people just kind of hidden amongst the ranks that really want to make the city a better place, which I think is actually pretty unique.
I think it's a very personal decision where you decide to go to college and spend those 4 years of your life. At Pacific, you'll get a great education, but you'll also have a really good time. You'll be a part of a really strong and thriving community.
Welcome back to Chris Kelton Pool. Halftime is just about over, and the number 3 University of Pacific Tigers lead the Pepperdine, number 5 Pepperdine Wave, 8-3. Jeff Dominic with you. Thank you very much for joining us. As the Tigers had a big opening first period, it was Luke Pavillard leading the way. He has 3 goals and an assist, 4 points overall. And then Luis Araya and Jeremy Cote, both of them have 2 goals For Cote, he also has an assist, so give him a total of 3 points. And actually, and also Bogdan Jerkovic along with Luis Araya both have 2 points apiece as well. On the near side, the Pepperdine Wave will go from right to left. They're wearing the white caps, blue numbers. As I saw, it was Jeremy Cote taking on Sean Ferrari. Tigers will win the 3rd sprint. They've won each sprint so far this afternoon. So they will go from left to right wearing the black caps, orange trim, and it'll be a foul on the Tigers. I believe that was on Luke Pavlard, so a turnover in their first possession. The Tigers will go ahead and quickly go on to defense on the far side. The Wave will go from right to left. They will, originally I believe that was a shot and a goal dump off into the middle by the Wave, and that will cut this lead in half, 8-4 now. It might have been Chris Dilworth. So Dilworth will get his 25th goal and point. And this lead is 8-4. Tigers get it up to the top. And it's interesting the way that this defense has played out as well as their offense. A foul will go on to the Wave. The Wave will back off, and there's going to be a foul or an exclusion on Ferrari, I believe. So the Tigers will go on the power play. 6-on-5, first power play of this half. Stanic towards the far side, now back up to the top. Over towards Pavlar. Pavlar will dump it off, and an attempt of a one-timer by Ege Kolak, and that will go too far. So the second possession for the Tigers is mishandled, and the Tigers will go back on defense. Now exclusion on the Tigers. 6-on-5 here for the Wave. Wave looking to try and get this lead down to 8-5. Dumped off to the near side. Look for Jarvis. That one was blocked up in the middle by 2 Tigers. Got a hand on it, including John Barry. So you had a third Tiger involved in there. That possession was no good for the Wave. So 2 early possessions both sides, and none of them were able to come across. As Jolly Stanic come towards the near side, dumped it off, and before he was able to, that was Pavlar that was fouled, so an exclusion on the Wave, and another 6-on-5 for the Tigers. Luis Araya. Araya will get it to the near sides toward Pavlar. Pavlar over towards Stanic. Stanic now will get it to Araya. At the top, Araya to Pavlard. Head coach James Graham pleading to move the ball. We'll get it to Araya. Araya will back towards Pavlard, who will skip it in for a shot and a goal for the Tigers. Luke Pavlard, his 4th goal, and he leads the way for the Tigers as it's now 9-4. I was wondering what the near official was asking for, and it was just to get one of the balls out of play. So the goalkeeper, Jean-Claude Marco, will do the honors and toss it over towards his side, towards his bench, and now we'll get back under play. Balash Kosa will creep it up for the Wave. Kosa will get it towards the near side. Back to Kosa. Long over cross pull pass. And a shot and a goal. That was actually very nicely done by the Wave. I believe that was Ferrari with the goal. And it was extremely nice, mainly because of the way that they tried to provide the offense and were swinging it around and long passes back and forth from Ferrari to Cosa. And then finally Ferrari on the third pass found an opportunity and wound up taking control and skipped one in underneath the right arm of John Barry. So the Tigers back on offense. It's on the near side, trying to dump it off in the middle. And looking for a foul on the inside and not getting one. As I believe Rene Peralta, but the Wave will go back on the attack. It's on the far side, I believe, is Jarvis. Over towards the top, dump off in the middle. And it'll be a turnover on the Wave. So they will be unsuccessful, and with 4:38 remaining, the Tigers will come into control with leading 9-5. Stanic over towards the top, towards Araya. Araya towards Stanic. Stanic dumps it off in the middle. Back shot will be blocked. Head coach James Graham is irate. The Wave will, what he thought was that there should have been a touch where the Tigers would have gotten another fresh shot clock. Wave on the attack, trailing 9-5 over towards Cosa. He'll raise up and will pass it off towards the far side. A loft shot that will skip off the crossbar and out of play. The Wave have scored 2 goals in this period, and the Tigers only scored 1. Pavlard will get it towards Araya. Araya, and a foul will be called on the inside by the Tigers, on the Tigers, I should say. So the Wave once again back on the attack. Far side towards Jarvis. Swinging it around. 9 on the shot clock. Cosa with a one-time shot, and that will be deflected. And a good job by John Barry. Stay with it. Barry asking for Luis to slow down for a second to get him to pass onto the near side of the pool. Over towards Stanic. Stanic faked, wanted to go inside again. We'll get it towards Pavlard. Pavlard shot, goal for the Tigers. Luke Pavlard, 5th goal.
Tiger goal scored by number 5, Luke Pavlard.
So Luke Pavlard's goal will put the Tigers lead at 10-5. With 2:52 remaining here in the third period. And what a performance by him, really. I mean, it's an all-around performance, but the Tigers have set up Pavlard perfectly in order to get him great opportunities for 5 goals. For Pavlard, he's gone 5 goals on 6 shots. He's got 6 points today. Barry screaming to Eli Lule as there's a cut-in opportunity for the Wave. A shot, and that'll hit off the crossbar. So Barry got a little lucky. Quickly wanting to work is Jeremy Cote. Cote on the near side will go up to the top. Foul on the Wave, and now it'll be an exclusion, it looks like. And it is, so now a 6-on-5 and really a 5-on-4 as a skip shot will go wide right by Luis Araya. Jean-Claude Marco will get it off to the near side. Looking for Gordon, it looked like. A skip off into the middle. And that'll be taken away by the Tigers. It's once again off into the center, losing control of it was a Pepperdine Wave. And the Tigers, who lead 10-5, looking to extend this lead once again with 1:38 remaining here in the third. Eli Lule will dump it off in the middle. Back shot hits the crossbar, and the shot was attempted by Bogdan Jerkovic. Tigers will have to hurry back on defense. The way that this defense is set up for Pepperdine and the way that the offense is kind of playing into this as well, they're so spread out and so in a unique form, it makes it kind of difficult to stay, or a lot of opportunities for a breakaway. There's a 6-on-5 here for the Wave. There's a shot, and that'll be deflected in the front row. Fresh shot clock. And the Tigers are back to full strength, taken away by the Tigers, and they will go ahead and send it back over towards Barry. I believe that was Luke Pavillard. Or pretty much what hasn't he done today? It's off towards the near side is Andrea Donardi. Donardi will back it out after the foul on the Wave. 8 seconds on the clock. And before that, there's going to be an exclusion, a shot, and a goal for the Tigers. Luis Araya will get the hat trick officially. I was going to sit there and wait to make sure that they officially counted that goal. They actually took one away from him earlier in the contest, which was a no. They wound up calling no goal. He actually wound up later scoring one earlier in this period, and now with that goal, we'll give him his hat trick. (25 seconds remaining in the third. Up at the top is Kosa. Nine seconds. Shot will be deflected. And the Tigers will take back over. John Barry will hang on to it. And that will end the third. The last little second shot will go for naught. And after three, the University of Pacific Tigers lead the Pepperdine Wave 11-5. We'll step aside and take the break from Chris Kelton Poole.
My name is Brinley Barthels. I came to Pacific because I was actually looking at water polo programs, and it was one of the better programs in the state. And they also had a great science program. So their biology and chemistry departments especially were very rigorous, and something that I knew would prepare me well for my future. When I visited the school, I saw a lot of chemistry labs and the opportunity for people to do research in the chemistry department, and that was something I was really excited about. My research, when I started, we began with peptide synthesis. So basically taking these small building blocks called amino acids, putting them all together and forming long chains. So Alzheimer's in particular is manifested because peptides are created at different lengths. So we are able to take those peptides, recreate them in the lab, and analyze their function and factors that make them non-functional. So my grandma was diagnosed with Alzheimer's a couple years ago, so it's extremely personal to me that, you know, I'm able to take this research that I'm doing and apply it back to my own life. It's humbling and also exciting that I am able to do these small experiments and look at these small peptides and know that somewhere, somehow, someone is going to take my research or the research that my lab is doing and use it on something bigger like these diseases. Prospective freshmen come in and they're asking, well, why should we choose Pacific? You know, what's the academics like? And the first thing I say every time is that the research aspect in the chemistry department especially is very unique. I know a lot of people that go to different schools in California or even in the United States that have never set foot in a research laboratory. The opportunities presented here are extremely important and extremely unique to Pacific. And everyone that asks me, I say the best part about this school is the research aspect, definitely.
back here at Chris Kelton Pool, the University of Pacific Tigers leading this one over the Pepperdine Wave by a score of 11-5. The number 3 University of Pacific Tigers versus the number 5 Pepperdine Wave. It's been a good one. The Pacific Tigers took the outright lead. They were leading 6-0 after 1 quarter of play. And since then, both have kind of rotated and alternated goals. Tigers still leading by 6. As they get ready for the fourth period sprint. Tigers have won all the sprints thus far. Jeremy Cote. But the Tigers are led by Luke Pavillard, 5 goals this afternoon, along with 1 assist, so 6 total points to add to his team lead to 73. Sprint successfully held. This time actually was not Cote, it was actually Jale Stonic who actually won this one for the Tigers and won it pretty convincingly. Pavillard will dump it off into the middle. And before that can actually go, there's going to be called a 5-meter penalty on the Wave. So I believe that's Rene Peralta that will take the shot. Actually, correction. They're going to change the ball, too. They were asking for a new ball. Matthew Hosmer will be the one that's going to take the shot. So Hosmer will reach up and score one for the Tigers. The freshman will get his name etched in the scoring column. So Hosmer with his first goal will move this lead 12-5. 29th goal of the season. And the Tigers are looking to pretty much put this one away to look to move to 2-0 in the Golden Coast Conference. Still 7.5 minutes to play and anything is possible, but right now with a 7-point cushion as that shot is deflected off of the front line of the Tigers. As we mentioned at the start of this one, the defense has really come through not only today but throughout the season as they only allowed 11.5 goals per game. Turnover on the Wave, or excuse me, on the Tigers after the Tigers committed a penalty. So the Wave will come back with Jarvis. Over on the far side is Jarvis. Trying to get it inside, dumped off inside. A shot, and that will go in for the Wave as this lead will change to 12-6 in favor of the Tigers. Chris Dilworth with the goal. And for Dilworth, that's his second and his 26th of the season. John Berry, the goalkeeper for the Tigers, will get it over towards Luke Pavillard. Pavillard, 20 seconds on the shot clock. Will go over towards the far side. Foul on the Wave once again. Araya will get it over towards Pavillard once again. We'll dump it off into the middle. Looking for Denardi. The Wave will go back on the offense. Far outlet pass by Jean-Claude Marco. Get it off to the far side. Another long outlet pass, and it'll be an exclusion. It looks like, correction, a foul will be called on the Wave. On the exclusion, a goal was scored. Trying to catch the number real quick. interesting sequence of events, and it'll be the Tigers that lead 12-7. That goal was scored by Marco Asic. So the Tigers lead 12-7 as they go from left to right. A foul on the Pepperdine Wave, or excuse me, on the Tigers once again, and the Wave will go back on offense. It's on the near side. Is Asic. Off into the middle. Two Tigers converge, and the defense will hold true this time, and the Tigers will go back on the offensive, leading 12-7. Pavlar dumps it off in the middle. Before he was able to get it inside, Peralta turns it over. And Asic will get it towards the far side, or towards the near side, excuse me, but towards the far side of the pool. It's at full strength, both sides. 5:15 remaining. Tigers lead 12-7. Up at the top, swing it around, go the Wave. Losing control. And losing control once again. I think that was Jarvis. Unable to keep control and would lost control, and the Tigers would take over on the turnover. Dumped off towards Donardi. Taken away by the Wave. Jean-Claude Marco will get it up for the Wave. Off towards the far side. The shot. Tigers are able to be successful, and I'm looking for Balazs Kosa, and he's been fairly quiet this afternoon. No points really to speak of. I'm going to double check on the numbers for him as well. But the Tigers with it. Over towards the near side, towards Stanic. Before that was able to be taken over, it would be a foul on the Wave. Shot, goal for the Tigers. Off on the inside, and this lead will move to 13-7. Ege Kolak, first time we've said his name this afternoon in the scoring column. But 5 goals by Luke Pavillard lead the way. Double check on, because now I'm curious. He does have 2 assists, does Kosa, but as far as the scoring column goes, he's the league or the team lead in goals with 64, and he has not been able to be in that column at all. But he will get close, edge closer to the 100-point category. He has 94 on the season. That is taken away by the Tigers. Be a foul on the Wave, but the Tigers will get the possession back. Little dump-off pass on the near side as the Tigers will tear down the near side. Raising up, shot, goal for the Tigers. Luke Pavillard. Luke Pavillard, 6 goals today. My word. And now the student section representing the Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi remark for Luke Pavillard. This redshirt senior from Perth, Australia. So the Wave trail 14-7. Every time that the Wave would get on a run, the Tigers have been able to answer that run. And for Pavillard, 7 points this afternoon. Wave at the top. Swing it across towards the far side. I believe that's Jarvis once again. Swinging it around. Jarvis into the middle, off the crossbar. A timeout will be called on Pacific. head coach James Graham. And it's always amazing to me, no matter what the score is, head coach James Graham will take a timeout, regroup, good, bad, or indifferent. He always, I think he plans on using all of his timeouts the way that he coaches. 14-7 our score. We'll give you some updates on the numbers by both sides. But the Tigers are led by their redshirt senior Luke Pavillard. Quick timeout. The Tigers will go on the offensive here in just a moment. But 7 for 27 are the Wave, while the Tigers are 14 of 27. 12 exclusions for the Wave, the 9 for Pacific. Wave are 2 of 8, while the Tigers are 3 of 10. Tigers will swing it around Araya. Araya will head back on defense as 2 Wave have now gone and attempted to go on the offensive. Jean-Claude Marco get it towards the near side. Off towards Jarvis. Jarvis a give and go. Backhanded attempt blocked by John Barry. And the Tigers are 2 of 2 in penalties. The penalty shot, the 5-meter penalties. So the Tigers will inch up closer. Luis Araya and here John Barry screaming out 2 back, basically saying that there's 2 offensive players. So now the Tigers will basically just play keep away, and that shot clock will cause the turnover for the Tigers. Dump off inside for the Wave. And the Tigers were about to take it away, but a foul was called before the takeaway. So the Wave will regroup on offense with 20 on the shot clock. Before that is going to happen, there's going to be an exclusion on the Tigers. So the Tigers will go on a 6-on-5. The Wave will change things up. Before that, a timeout will be called. I believe that might be their final timeout for the Wave.
Timeout, Pepperdine.
Correction, actually, that's, I believe they have 1 full and 1 partial still showing remaining. But the Tigers 14 of 27, 519 shooting percentage. I would say if you were to ask that one to begin with, hey, coach, I'm going to have you start at 519 or go and shoot 519 for the game, I think anybody would be acceptable of that. But 14 of 27 for the Tigers. The Wave are 7 of 28. That's a quarter of their goals have gone in for 4 of their shots. 12 to 10 on the exclusions. And the Tigers are 300 at power play, while the Wave are at 222. For the exclusions, double checking, there's 4 players, in that category are nearing sitting out the rest of the game. Marco Asic, Sean Thomas, Kosa Balaj, which that could have also affected the way he's played today, and Mate Toth. For the Tigers, Andrea Donardi has been removed from this game for the rest of the day. Luis Araya has 2. And Eli Lule has 2. So 6-on-5, that is blocked, and that pretty much went off the chest of the middle line. I didn't even see who that may have been on him. Actually, might have been John Barry, to be honest with you. But he's successful in the block. Another block in the front line this time by the Tigers. Another shot. That one's off the crossbar. So 3 shots, and that's kind of been the way that the day has gone for the Pepperdine Wave. Good opportunities, just unsuccessful, and of course the good defense by the Tigers has really shown through today against the number 5 Pepperdine Wave. A foul on the Wave. But at this point, and now for the Tigers, it's all the fundamental side of keep away. Ege Kolak actually was wearing the cap number 23, but it put him as number 4. And 2 seconds on the clock. They'll reach up, a lofting shot, and that will go in. A beautiful shot. Ege Kolak with the goal, and he kind of gives a little bit of a sly grin afterwards. Now the student section will give off the Ege chant, as he's a fan favorite by the student section. 52 seconds remaining, and the Tigers lead 15-7. Doing a quick check on what Luke Pavillard has done. They give him 7. He has a total of 7 points, but the Tigers will go ahead and take this one away, and John Barry will do the honors. But Balash Kosa had to have been one of the focal points, and we'll ask head coach James Graham shortly about that. There's a one-on-one here for the Tigers with 10 on the shot clock, and a foul will be turnover, I should say, for the Tigers, and the Wave will have the last opportunity with 12 seconds remaining. A dump off in the middle, a shot, and a last second goal for the Wave, and this game will go to 15-8.
Pepperdine goal scored by number 14, Chris Dilworth.
For Chris Dilworth, he'll get the hat trick. We'll double check on some of the stats, but I'm just thoroughly shocked on what Balash Kosa has been unable to do today. But that will do it. So the Tigers, the number 3 ranked University of Pacific Tigers, will win this one 15-8. And for everyone attending, we want to keep you hanging out. Head coach James Graham will join me. But for now, the Tigers will win this one. We'll step aside and take the break. Tigers win 15-8 over the number 5 Pepperdine Wave. We'll be back here from Chris Kelton Pool in just a moment.
My brother did swimming, and so I'm from a family of 4, so I looked up to my older siblings, so I just kind of followed his suit and kind of just followed his footsteps. And then my sophomore year, I hit the massive improvements, and that's when I really hit swimming, and I was really drawn into the sport, and I was like, no, this is what I want to do. Even if there are failures and there are challenges, this is just so rewarding to put in this work and try every day and then be rewarded by your hard work. Yeah, the day starts at 5:30, and then probably the last thing I end at is probably 7:30 in the afternoon when practice ends. Go home, have dinner, try to get a few more hours of studying in before I gotta go to bed early. It's hard sometimes waking up at 4:45 in the morning when you have to study, but I've never missed a morning practice for a test. And I've always gone to test day and gone to morning practice at the same time. So if there's a test on Friday, better bet I'm at 5:30 practice, and then I roll out and I go to the test at 8. It's just how it works. You have to manage your expectations. I don't have a 4.0, but I have a pretty high respectable GPA. I made the dean's list in the business school, Beta Gamma Sigma Honor Society. It's all about time management, how bad you want to be successful. I'd like to take all the connections I've made through swimming, the business school, the student investment fund, and really grow that into somewhere in banking. Being a financial representative would be something I really want to do. The ultimate goal would be a financial representative for athletes. I think the business school has really accelerated my growth as a person. It's really pushed me to places I've never thought I'd go. It challenged me in ways, and then just being the student athlete part made me be something that I didn't think I could be. You know, it made
Welcome back to Chris Kelton Pool. I'm here with head coach James Graham and, of course, the senior Luis Araya. And I'll start with Luis. What a performance on that pool, and what do you, just take us over to that game, getting prepared for a game like Pepperdine, number 5 ranked Pepperdine. What week of preparation like for you?
Well, Pepperdine's a good team, so we had to prepare a lot for them and just do well, make sure we're on top of our game plan and stick to our game plan. And other than that, it's just stick to our game plan as much as possible.
3 goals for you, one heck of a performance, but I have to ask you, I mean, your redshirt senior, Luke Pavillard, what did he do in order to help you get set up? And you guys just look phenomenal, especially in that first period.
Yeah, Pav was on as usual. The guy always puts the goals away, so he did his job for our team, and that's all we could ask for.
Head coach James Graham with us, and I want to go ahead and congratulate you on a win, but also I think blanking out a team like Pepperdine in the first period had to be completely amazing for you.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this year we've done a good job scoring goals. This week was a big week of focusing on our defense, and so that first quarter gave us a lot of belief that, the week that we spent working hard on defense paid off. So I think the guys were really motivated by that first quarter, along with being able to put the goals away too.
I asked Luis about Luke Pavillard, but what he's done, not just this season, but I always say at the beginning of a broadcast, he has to be the tone setter. And what has he done in order to help your guys out there on the pool?
I mean, Pav's a veteran along with Luis and Andrea and Ege. I mean, all of those guys kind of set the tone. They all have different roles. But obviously, Pav handles the ball a lot and creates a lot of problems out there, which allows some of our other guys to free up. So, in games like this, we really need Pav to be aggressive, and he was. And that made the opposing defense have to kind of shift their focus. And because of that, other guys were able to put away their shots. So, Pav is one of those special players. It's hard to defend on that side of the pool, and we're lucky to have him.
And lastly, for you, Coach, I mean, you got how much time are you able to digest this one as you kind of get ready for the rest of the Golden Coast Conference and you look on towards like Long Beach State?
Yeah, I mean, really, I always tell the guys we can enjoy this for a couple hours and then we move on. So by the time it gets to this evening, we're going to already be preparing for next week, which we have a big week and we're on the road. So every game is critical. Right now, we've done a great job taking care of our business at this point in the season, but we have 3 more big GCC games, and every team in this conference is capable of winning any single game. So we need to make sure that we're on our game plan and we don't relax.
All right, thanks, Coach. Thanks, Luis Araya. Thank you all very much for attendance. Have a great rest of your afternoon from Chris Kelton Pool.
Thank you.
Thank you.